Good afternoon, growing in His grace. Guess what today is? It's March 8th, and it's that wonderful day that some of you all dread, and it's the day tonight when we go to bed, we set our clocks ahead an hour. It's the good old spring forward. Yes, we're still dealing with daylight savings time. Maybe one of these years they'll can it, but for now it's a reality. And so I'm getting on here just to remind everybody, when you go to bed tonight, set your clocks ahead. And got thinking about the subject of time. And so we can't lose an opportunity to look at what does the Bible say about time, right? Well, a lot of people on this particular spring forward time change, unlike in the fall where we fall back and we get an hour, a lot of people complain, oh, I'm going to lose an hour of sleep. I'm losing an hour of my day. But I got to ask myself, well, what am I doing with the other 364 days of the year that we have? And, am I wasting time? Time is something we can't get back. I mean, time is a valuable commodity. You can't get back lost time. When your children are little, you think the days are so long. Oh my goodness, when you're a stay-at-home mom and when's the day going to end? It seems like forever. But then you turn around and look and they're grown, they're gone. You have grandchildren. Time flies, right? And the older we get, don't we catch ourselves saying that? Where did the day go? Where did the time go? And we think a lot about time and, we talk about wasting our time or trying to maximize our time and how much we can get done. We live in a very, very busy era. It's something constant. We're constantly getting information on our phone. We're onslaught of information. It's nonstop. And I think there's never been a time in history where people have been so stressed out and so busy. But if we think about time from God's point of view, you see, God is the one that really determines what really is of eternal significance. In other words, He's the one that really determines that what we do with our time, whether it's really valuable or not. We might spend a lot of time doing some things that we think are real valuable, but in light of eternity, it doesn't mean a thing. I'm reminded of Jesus' words in part of the Sermon on the Mount back in Matthew chapter 6. And in picking up in verse 19, he tells us, do not lay up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in or steal. There's a lot of things that we're doing with our time and energy and talents that if we look at it in light of eternity, will it matter? Because God tells us that we should be kingdom-minded. Yes, we can have recreation. Yes, we can, go to our kids' baseball game and enjoy time with them, with family, with friends. But if you look at your overall life and the picture of your life, just how much notice do I give to things that matter of eternal significance? Will there be people in heaven because you shared the gospel? Will there be people, who got over that point of stumbling in their walk because you were there to lend a hand and help them walk through the Word of God? Did you spend time listening for God leading you through where to take that job and what to do with your life? Or did you base it all on the flesh with what you can see and feel and touch? Because what matters to God the most is our soul and where we're going to spend eternity. And are we carrying out the call of God that each one of us have on our lives? Matthew 24 I'm also reminded when I think about time that I've got this little clock sitting here in front of me. It's just the old-fashioned, buy it at the Dollar General, Rose's, Walmart, battery powered, and you can just hear it tick, 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 tick. It's good to have. So power goes out, you always have a clock. And I'm reminded that time is ticking. We don't hear our digital clocks. We see everything digital. But when you're listening to the old-fashioned clock ticking, you're reminded time's going. And Jesus is coming back. His return is imminent. And he says in Matthew 24, picking up in verse 42, he tells us, therefore be on the alert, for you do not know which day your Lord is coming. He had said earlier in the gospel, no one knows the hour or the day, but we are to be alert. In other words, every day, every minute, we're to live that Christ could come back at any moment. And, when he comes back, where will he find you busy about his business or slouching off? Or are we spending our time doing things that don't really matter in the long run? So on this day where we're all sort of kind of dreading losing an hour, I just want us to think about time in light of eternity, how God views time. Remember, God is outside of time. And the other thing I had on my mind this morning, this afternoon concerning time is I was having a discussion with a good friend of mine about, the Sabbath principle. Not keeping the Sabbath as in a legalistic manner. As Christians, we're not under the law, but looking at Shabbat and the Jewish understanding of that principle of rest and what it means. And I was listening to a program on that. And really just acknowledging the presence of God and slowing down to really just give him your everything. And I got thinking that so many people, especially in this day and age we live where it's so rushed, it's so hurried. I feel so rushed and hurried all the time with just the way the world is and technology. But we're just so afraid that if we give God a couple hours in the morning or a day, oh my goodness, a whole day, well, I got so much to do. Well, will I lose that time? And, I'm reminded that anything you give to God, whether it's your time, your talent, your money, service, you and I cannot outgive God. Whenever I can just tell you this, and it's scriptural and other people can testify to it, that anytime I have given God my everything, my time, money, everything I've got, he just turns around and blesses, supernaturally blesses. And so we worry about, oh no, I don't have that much time in the morning as it is to get ready. Try getting up 10 minutes earlier and give him some just undivided time in the Word, and you will see that you get more done, and the time just seems to make up for itself. So I just encourage you as we, again, spring forward and set our clocks forward tonight, spend some time in the Word. Spend some time with the Lord. Think about time from his point of view. And again, don't ever worry about giving God your time and you losing out. It won't happen because you will never outgive God. Hope you all have a blessed rest of your weekend. Take care, everyone.